If living on the high seas, anchored off remote tropical islands and exploring uncharted reefs is so great, then why do I want to stay away from all that for 75 days? Let me explain. This is my sailboat Adventureborne, a very comfortable 38-foot sloop-rigged monohull. I've built this boat to be 100% self-sufficient so I can live far, far out in paradise for as long as I want, all while enjoying a dream-like lifestyle day in and day out. So, if this boat is so great, and my lifestyle out here is so amazing, why would I want to leave it for so long? Well, for the last 75 days I've been here. The view is fantastic, big balcony here that I can enjoy. But here's what's really nice about this place. The air conditioner, the freezer, the fridge, a microwave, a sink that doesn't run out of water. Wait, there's more. A full-size bed, a real shower, a real toilet. That's why for the past 75 days, I've been here. It all started when I got dengue fever, but pretty quickly I decided I didn't want to spend an entire summer on my boat. I have been on my boat in one capacity or another for pretty much the last 5 years. And I've noticed with all other sailors, they take a break. Well, this was my break. And staying here in a place with a big comfortable bed, non-moving floors, plenty of space to move around, and oh yeah, a view of all this green and mountains was really the break that I needed. So why did I need this break so badly? Well, the simple answer is nobody wants to eat birthday cake every day of the week. Even if it's a wonderful thing, it's kind of hard to appreciate a good thing if it happens every single day, especially when basic comforts are lacking. Especially when you take into account how much more work daily life is on a sailboat here than it is in just a normal house. All these little things start to add up, and well, I'm just gonna show you. Anytime you want water, you have to pump down here. Unlike in a house, you just turn a knob and then you just get all the water you want. And I gotta be conservative with every little bit of water I use here. On a boat, you have to use a manual toilet, which requires pumping the water in and out, and it's a lot harder than a normal house where you just hit a little lever and it's just all gone. On a boat, you always get a little bit nervous when the wind blows a little too hard and you think you might drag anchor. But in a house, you can't drag anchor. The house is stable. On a sailboat, you can get woken up in the middle of the night because of a storm, versus in a house, you don't even know that there was a storm because it has thick walls and bricks. Getting rocked and rolled back and forth in a bad anchorage makes you weak and you're not able to sleep sometimes. Versus a house, it's nice and stable all the time. Oh no, that's gonna cost a lot. On a boat, things are constantly breaking because it's a pretty turbulent environment out here, along with salt water, sun, all that stuff. It means things break so much more often. Versus a house, because it's not moving, it's stable, and it's usually further away from any sort of salt air, things just last there. My boat is pretty comfortable and spacious for a 38-foot boat, but sometimes I just want to be able to lift my hands up free without having to stick them through my middle hatch here. Versus in a house, you can stand up tall everywhere you want to be, you can lift your hands up without having to worry about hitting something or breaking something. On a boat, when you have chores or errands to do, you gotta climb up out of the boat, come to the back here, and at least on my boat it's a little bit easier because I made this here a swim platform. But then you have to pull your dinghy in, jump on the dinghy, get all the way to a dock, hope you don't get wet the entire time. It's a bit of a mission. Versus in a house, you just walk out the door, go to a car, and you're there. You don't even have to check the weather to go do grocery shopping, but you do on a boat. On a boat, even when you do get the supplies back to town from your dinghy, you still gotta load them on and hope that nothing falls out into the ocean. And sometimes it can be a bit of a pain. On a boat, my only relief from the heat is hoping there's enough wind to blow down through my hatches, or maybe just a small fan here that I can put on my face. But in a house, you just turn on the air conditioning and you're good. And even when there isn't air conditioning, houses are still so much more efficient at just keeping the heat out. In a house, when you want to get something out of the fridge, you just open the big wide door and you can see everything. It's all well lit, easy peasy. On a sailboat, however, jeez, I don't even have a latch for this. I gotta use my shoulder. Buried down there. Is the cooling grate actually doing its job? It's just a nightmare on a boat. Although I love looking out of my sailboat out at the open ocean, I also miss having a more green view. A house is great because you can have a real view of the mountains and trees, and I really miss being closer to that much greenery. Of course, it's really cool to be able to just jump off my swim platform and go for a swim whenever I want, just probably not in this water. But something I really miss about a house is being able to just step out the front door and go for a walk. Being able to use your legs just to walk like that is really, really nice. Doorways in houses are always nice and spacious, but on a boat, you don't have such luxury. And if you're even taller, you can hit your head on more things. But no matter what, everyone on a boat ends up hitting their head on something. Oh God. Although I love the sway of the boat while I'm on anchor, the sun seems to always find a way, just when I don't want it to, peer right through it and either wake me up from a nap or get in the way while I'm trying to film a video. Versus a house, everything's nice and stable and the sun stays where it's at. Bugs coming through all sorts of random little spots on the boat wherever there's a hole to the outside. Versus in a house, you can pretty quickly close up, especially if you have the air conditioning on, and keep all the bugs outside. That one I really miss. Although I love the fact that I can stand up and take a shower on my boat, it's still gonna be lukewarm or cold at best. Versus in a house, you have a nice, long, warm shower when you want it to really clean the pores out. And of course, although the sea breeze is great to come flowing through the hatches and hopefully be enough to keep me cool, it's nothing compared to the raw power of good old-fashioned air conditioning. Who needs to be in 90-degree weather when they could live in the tropics but live in 70-degree weather? I definitely miss the air conditioner. So, yeah, like I've been saying, I've been on my sailboat for a little bit more than 5 years now. Actually, it's almost 6 years now. And in all that time, the only breaks I've really taken from the boat were to do other adventure traveling, which is cool, is what I love, is what I want to always be doing. But sometimes I just want to relax. Sometimes I just want to have a lazy Sunday, play some video games, throw around some Magic the Gathering cards. Like, just do something like that that's relaxing. So this, for me, was the first time I just stopped everything and just took time for myself to be in a normal place. It was really nice. And I've noticed that pretty much all other sailors do this. They don't go 365 days out of the year on their boat. They take breaks. Many of them especially will go home to an actual house that they own somewhere else. And that's a big question that I can answer right now that I get a lot, is a lot of people say, how do I afford this so young? Or how did I afford this so young? There was no house. There was no plan B. There was just live on the boat only. And if you do it right, it's really, really cost effective. I mean, not as cost effective as just living in the woods somewhere. It's still a boat, it's still gonna cost you money. But for the sake of what you can do, yeah, if you just only do this, it's very, very doable on a very small amount of money. All right, so then you might be asking, well, how did I afford to stay in an Airbnb for, it was 75 days? Well, pretty simple, two things. One, I've been saving up to do exactly this. I thought I was gonna be doing it in Colombia, but then I changed my sail plan and decided to come here instead. And then number two, my money goes really far here in the Dominican Republic. It's about 57 to 59 pesos to the dollar. For example, I often get a massage in town, and that costs me, I would say, like $8, $9 for an hour-long massage. Go to the US and you're looking at like, what, $70? Maybe $80? Like literally 10 times more. It doesn't always work that way for everything, but for a lot of these things it does. And although I certainly could have rented a cheaper place, the spot that I did stay at cost me, I believe, about $500 a month, and it was well worth it just for its convenience and comfort factor. It was in a super safe area, but to be honest, I probably paid that much for it because of that view that was out there behind it. Just green hills, couldn't see the ocean at all until I went up and around, and then I could see really my favorite kiteboarding spot here in the town. So it was a great place to stay and gave me a huge break and relief from my beloved sailboat. So for everything I just talked about up until now, I want this to be a really great lesson for those of you that either are on the water, or I would assume probably a lot more of you that are interested in getting a sailboat and are curious about the lifestyle. Well, this is a reality of it. Most people don't live on the boat 365. Especially, I think the older you are, the more accustomed to land life you are. I'm accustomed to really traveling a lot and living in a lot of weird situations, either in an RV or a backpack or a tent or a minivan especially. But this is a reality of boat life that a lot of people decide to do just because they do get tired of all the little inconveniences that are just normal boat life. And it's interesting, you have to get a really big boat and have an insane amount of money to nullify a lot of these. For example, laundry. That's still something I can't just do on the boat here. To get a laundry machine means I need to take something else off. So you really have to pick and choose what comforts you want on your boat. But as far as the actual break on land goes, it wasn't just a break to do nothing. It was a break to do things that I wouldn't normally do, and a lot more of them. I would say first off, there was the tree nest that I was building. Myself and Nicole spent a lot of time up there building it, and we absolutely loved it. This was made entirely with just some perimeter rope and then paracord in between. And it's super cool to see it all come together. It's just about finished now, maybe just 1 or 2 strands to go, but it's pretty much done, and I'm so happy we have this chance to just relax there. Yes, this one does have an ocean view, how could it not? But still, it's such a cool little secret place for us to go to and be really in green nature, not just on the ocean. As well, I've been doing a lot of motorbike rides. That's something that's really different from how I normally have to sail and cruise. I do love the sailing and cruising lifestyle. It's really cool in remote areas and can explore places nobody else can. But a lot of times you have to bridge that gap onto land, and my motorcycles allowed me to do that. I outfitted a big old box on the back of it and just been doing all sorts of trips all over the country. The Dominican Republic is a gorgeous country to say the least, and like I said, everything is super cheap, but it has really strong culture to it. I felt a little bit let down in several of the Caribbean countries, but the Dominican Republic really has a vibe all its own. Also, like I was saying, I could see the ocean if I just perked my head up around from my Airbnb, so I could look out, and if I could see white caps, that just meant go kiteboarding, and if I saw a lot of white caps, that meant grab my 9-meter. So I had quite a few really good, really fun sessions kiteboarding here in Luperon. Luperon is such a unique spot in that it feels like it's on the verge of blowing up and becoming this amazing coastal harbor town that could have so many boats, could have so many marinas here, but it just doesn't quite yet. It's still pretty sleepy, and that's what I really like about it. Also, something I could not normally do is spending so much time with all these dogs. There is this dog rescue called the Coconut Hound Haven, and I've been spending a lot of time there. I even donated my time and a substantial amount of money to help build this large fenced-in area that I call the free pen. And what's cool about this is all the dogs can be let out from the main kennels into there, kind of like all just naturally corrals down into it. And then they have an area where they can run free with no leash on them. It's pretty unique to the area, and I'm just really excited to be able to help out and really get to pet and play with a whole bunch of dogs. It's when I first found the place, I couldn't believe how nice it was. They're working with what they've got for sure. It's still the Dominican Republic, but it's a really well-run place. And besides that, I get around wherever I can playing volleyball. I think every Friday I set that up. I've got my own little volleyball net that I set up for everybody else here. And it's just been really nice. I've been in here in Luperon for I think like 5 months now, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been that long. But for me, it's really cool to be part of a community once again, where I have neighbors that I know, I have people nearby that I go and see. I've been sailing and cruising now, like I said, for I think about 6 years, and what the weird part of that is I don't see the same people. I mean, if you're on the same sailing route, yeah, you'll see some of the same people that way, and the connections are very intense while they last. But then, you both sail away pretty quickly. I mean, nobody's going exactly the same way I am. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, yeah, I mean, being a part of this community here has been really good. I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but I feel like a part of my brain atrophied over those years of being just a solo sailor going from one place to another. And that was a part of my brain that remembers names. It got horrible at one point. I'd ask the same person like 4 or 5 times in a row. So I think being here in Luperon, actually meeting new people, knowing I'm gonna see them again, so remembering their name, it's been really good for me. It feels better now being a part of a little bit of a community. And I do see the allure, and I do wish I had a home base that I could go back to once in a while. There is pros and cons to that though. Only having the boat means I have to put everything into this, and I have all these upgrades I'm gonna be doing to the boat before I leave next. Gardens inside the boat, a standing desk, believe it or not. I think it's gonna be really cool what I can the juice I can squeeze out of this boat. Alright, so in conclusion, the main point of all this is I think I've come to my own conclusion that I am not my happiest when I'm on a sailboat 365 days out of the year, 24/7. I am for sure at my happiest when I'm getting to go from one new thing to the next. It is that difference of A to B that I really enjoy so much. Yes, it is kind of cool to go into a major city and, they maybe have an IMAX theater, or they've just got really good food everywhere, all these little conveniences. And I'll really enjoy that for the first couple weeks. But then after that, it's not quite as grand anymore, and the traffic and the smog kind of gets to me, and then I really crave the boat again. Probably for multiple months though. I need the boat more than I need anything else. So I hope that I can impart that onto you guys, that if you are going to be getting a boat, have some idea and have some way within your budget, within your lifestyle, to be able to take breaks from the boat, because it really is good to be able to do. For sure in the future, I'm going to be taking a couple months off here and there every year to do something completely non-boat related. But right now I'm actually buckling down. So I've been back on my boat now for I believe about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm getting ready for this major challenge, this 100 days completely off grid. Really excited about it. Not only that, my girlfriend Nicole, who also has a YouTube channel and also has her own sailboat, will be solo sailing there with me. We will be 2 boats and 2 lovers, side by side, but still independent from each other, and that'll be really unique. You'll have to watch the 100-day Waterworld Survival Challenge video to get a full grasp of that, and it is kind of a complicated concept that I came up with, but it's something that I'm really excited for next. Spending all this time on the boat, now that I've been away from it, and getting the most out of it. Right now I'm pretty much chomping at the bit, because it feels weird not being out there. It feels weird not spearfishing for my food, but I've just got, I think, a month and a half left, and then I'll be back to spearfishing, kiteboarding, free diving, dinghy here, dinghy there, remote tropical islands, the best of the Bahamas, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. And even right now, while I'm chomping at the bit and I can't wait to get back to the Bahamas, I do know in my heart deep down that after so many months of eating so many lobsters and having so much poke, I'll just want some ice cream, just want some chocolate, just want a pizza. I love eating healthy, I love the whole sustainability, everything, blah, blah, blah. You guys know I love to tote that on my channel all the time. But I just want a cheat day once in a while. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope this imparts onto you guys that, yeah, grind, work hard, be healthy, get that cheat day, get the best of both worlds. Enjoy that difference from one to the other. I think that's really the spice of life. And I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Cheers. Everyone on a boat, everyone on a boat, everyone on a boat, everyone on a boat. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I hope you feel inspired to begin adventures of your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. For an exclusive, in-depth look at this adventure lifestyle, and to further support my channel, become a member of my Patreon crew. Link in the description. I'll see you on the next adventure.